All right, so first of all, for the month of July, we have extended the sale for the 21-Day Fix and the 21-Day Fix Extreme. So you can actually get those programs for $140. I usually describe it as a $10 addition to the to Shakeology. So usually if you have somebody who's interested in Shakeology, you can talk to them and let them know. They can also get the 21-Day Fix program as well as all the containers for an additional $10. So that's on sale throughout the month. However, at Summit, they are going to launch Size. So I'm sure you guys have seen the post. Size is a program that is created by Shaun T, who is a choreographer by, I think, by Major. So he actually started off as the hip hop abs guy long before he was actually the insanity guy. So he is rooted in this dance background. So if you have not checked it out and you have access to Beachbody On Demand, make sure you check it out. They do have a workout in there that you can actually preview and you can sort of get a feel for how it works. So I just wanted to say this on a side note before I go into how I'm talking about it and how I'm launching it. You know, last year when Pio was released, I had no interest in doing it. I had no interest in Shailene. I knew her as the Turbo Fire woman. Turbo Fire was not my favorite workout. And I just wasn't interested in it. And I thought Pilates, yoga, it's not my thing. I'm not going to, really go for it. Well, long story short, I was hospitalized right after Summit. And what I thought would just be a program that sat on my shelf, what ended up being the program that I had to do because I was too ill to continue on with P90X3. So I started doing it, and what I found was there was another audience that was watching me at the time that thought I was too extreme by doing P90X3. So I was almost limiting myself by not doing that program. So if you kind of have this guard up about the program coming out, I'm not a dancer, or, Shaun T isn't my favorite workout, or I prefer doing, the 21-Day Fix, or I need to have my weights. Be open-minded about it and be honest with people. So when you're doing the workout and there are things that you like or you don't like about it, just tell people. The more that you're honest about it and the more you share with people, the more likely that they're going to want to be invested in you as their coach because they trust you. And that's sort of the name of the game too. You want to form these relationships with people. You want to make sure that they know you're not just trying to sell them a product, that you're truly invested in helping them get results. So Size for me, I am really spinning it as I am a non-dancer. I am not a dancer at all, but anyone can do these moves. And I'm talking a lot about how this is very much a family-friendly workout. So a lot of my audience has kids, a lot of them are married, and I'm talking about it being the program that I can push play on and Nick will come and do it with me. I can do it in the living room and the kids can join in with me. I can force my husband to do it, which I'll make a video about. He'll be awful and it will be wonderful. I really need to get him to do that like bad. That's just a side note. So then you want to think about who am I talking to? Who am I going to work with? So for example, Taylor, she is a dancer. I mean, she majored in dance. So she might find dancers who want to get a new routine or learn a new routine or make sure that they're burning calories. And I remember her saying after she did the first Size workout, she was surprised at how sore she actually was the next day. So you think about who you want to talk to about this program, and don't limit yourself by saying it's not my spiel, it's not my jam. Because if it's not your jam, a lot of people who might be watching you, it could be their jam, and it is something that they might be interested in, especially because it's a program for anybody. I mean, they're selling it by saying this is for you, this is for your spouse, this is for your grandma, this is for dancers, this is for anybody. It is a workout that works for anybody. Okay, so this is how I did it, and I'm going to kind of walk you through my process of brainstorming about how I'm doing it. So this month, I am going to give a Fixate cookbook to anyone who purchases the challenge pack. So the Fix8 cookbook is going to be 15 volume points. It's going to cost, I believe, $20, around that mark. So if you buy a challenge pack from me, you're also getting the Fix8 cookbook. There are 3 types of size workouts that you want to focus on. One is the base kit, the second is the deluxe kit, and the third is your challenge pack. The challenge pack is your Shakeology HD and the base kit. The deluxe kit is going to be all of the size workouts, including, I believe it was weights, like weighted bands. It also has the 21-day fix containers because the size workout is 21-day fix friendly. So if you go into marketing tools in your back office, it goes over that. So the deluxe kit is going to come to $119. And then your base kit, which is without your Shakeology, it's just your workouts, plus all your customers also get a bonus workout when they order through a coach. So you might want to talk about that a little bit. When you order through me as a coach, as opposed to just going through the site, I'm giving you a bonus workout. That base kit is going to be $59.95. Now the challenge pack, the base sale price that they've provided is $160, but I have a really strong feeling that when they launch it at Summit on the 16th, they're going to put the price at $140. I'm pretty sure that's what they're going to do. They have a habit of doing that. So that's my thought. It's not guaranteed, but that's what I'm thinking. And then I was going to say one more thing that I was going to say about that. Okay, so the size challenge group that we're putting together, this is just a general 4-week challenge group that will actually kick off the 27th, because customers and coaches who are not going to Summit cannot order size until the 20th. So the 20th, we're going to have to do the preseason. I was under the impression that they were launching it everywhere the 16th. That's not the case. So they, as of now, are saying that challengers and coaches not at Summit can get it on the 20th, which means that we're going to actually start the program on the 27th. So this group is for anyone doing the program, whether they're using Shakeology or not. And the reason we wanted to do that is because I believe that we can laser focus on nutrition and the value of Shakeology. So all of those people who have ever given you a price objection to Shakeology but have wanted to be in your challenge groups, this is a great time to invite them. This is a great time to say, hey, there's this launch coming out. You have a chance to win $500. You're going to get a free t-shirt whenever you finish the program. You've talked about wanting to eat clean and make, get some recipes. This is going to be a great opportunity to either do the advanced moves or the beginner moves. I'm going to be doing it, and I just thought I would invite you. And hey, while I'm at it, do you think you would want to invite like 5 friends to this group? So you're not just inviting that one person, you're having them invite more people. So I don't know if you've looked at the event that I created for size. You can invite people to my event. You can create your own event, or you don't have to do any of it. But when I go into my event, I have them tag their friends in that event. So when they're tagging their friends are like, what's this all about? What's size all about? And then their friends are then interested in then filling out the application to learn more. Now, if you are adding someone, I can see who you added to the event. So if I know that Deidre added her friend Kim, I wouldn't message Kim. I would leave that to Deidre to message Kim. So it's kind of your own, it's whatever you want to do. And the reason I feel pretty good about doing it this way is because it builds my contacts. So as of right now, I've built about 30 contacts just doing it this way, by asking for referrals and by letting them know, this is what size is all about. So it's just a constant getting out there, going in, talking to my customer base. I've sent out an email. If you are one of my personally sponsored, you can feel free to take that email, copy and paste it, make it your own, put your own links in there and everything. And then on the 20th, my plan is to then just give them the information so that they can order. So that is my thought with size. And then the last thing, and then I'm going to turn it over to Kirsten. Actually, there's two more things that I wanted to talk about real quick, is that tomorrow Fixate is being released. Fixate is the cookbook that Autumn Calabrese created. And so again, I think I said it, 15 PV, it's about $20. Anyone and everyone who's done the fix can get this cookbook. They're going to love it. It's a great way for you to, you know, have a little perk for your customers or let them know that it's available, and it's reasonably priced. So I can't imagine that people would give you a price objection over a cookbook. There's 101 recipes. There's paleo recipes. There's vegan recipes. There's vegetarian recipes. There's drink recipes. There's all kinds of good stuff in there. So that is being released tomorrow. I do not have a release time. Did anybody get that yet, or has anyone heard? If you have, can you just share it? And then the last and a final thing before I get to the good stuff is Super Saturday. In your area, if you go into Team Beachbody and then you go into your Coach Online office, you go into events and training, look for the Super Saturday that is in your area. So I know that some people can't get to Summit and you want to be there and you are psyched and you are so excited, but Super Saturday is your next best thing. It is going to go over every launch that we have, all of the information. You're going to hear success stories. I know in Pittsburgh, we're going to be doing a big time size workout. Just look at the events under, I think it's under events, under news and training maybe. Look for the Super Saturday in your area. I posted the link in the Knockout Brigade if you don't know where to look for it. But register, get yourself connected with other people in your area, other coaches. Just start brainstorming ideas and hearing the success stories. It really reignites that passion for Beachbody and the real reason why we're doing this and the reason that we're helping. So that's my suggestion for you. So those are the points that I have. The size launch, please ask me questions because I feel like I'm kind of getting what's working for me. So I'd be more than happy to answer any questions that you have. So tonight, Kirsten, my friend from a long time, we go way back, we went to high school together, and she's been coaching for, I want to say 2.5 years. It's been two and a half, somewhere around there.
Yep.
So Kirsten is also somebody who is into Tough Mudder races. She is a soon-to-be mom, a new bride to a wonderful guy, and I'm sure she'll talk about it a little bit, but a couple of things, a couple of stats for you. So Kirsten is a 5-star premier coach, and if you're not sure exactly what that means, it basically means she has 5 diamond coaches that she has personally sponsored, and that her team is growing, and it's a big part of that is due to her belief in the idea of personal development and how it's just impacted her and how it's changed over the last 2.5 years. She's also extremely consistent in her business. She does something that very few have been able to accomplish, and that is that she is a Success Club 5 legend. That means that for 24 months consecutively, and at this point, I think she's at 25 or 26, she has hit Success Club 5. So if you want to see why success works and why we talk about Success Club, like look at her 2 years into the business. She's been doing it. She's replaced her income as a therapist. She no longer works full time. You do take a couple of hours here and there, right? I think, no.
Just for fun. I mean, they haven't called me in a long time, so.
Yeah, so she is able to stay home full time and have a full-time income doing this. So, Kirsten, I am going to give it to you. I am going to go run and get some water because I don't have my water with me, but it is all you, girl.
All right, cool. Hi, everybody. I know some of you on the call, and I know some of you are a little bit new faces to me, but I have been doing this for, I started my first challenge group in the summer of 2012. So I was right around now, I was finishing up my Insanity challenge group. And I really just fell in love with the challenge groups. And that is how I started coaching. I originally started as a hobby coach. I loved my job as an occupational therapist and told Katie that I would never leave that job because I loved it. And I spent a lot of money and hard work getting my education. And here I am 2.5 years later, left my full-time job in the fall. So because I saw the potential of freedom, and that's what I wanted. I wanted freedom to make my own hours, freedom to work when I wanted to work, just freedom altogether. Travel. I live in Florida now, and my family's in Pittsburgh. So it's really hard to be away for the holidays. When you work in healthcare, you always have to work a holiday. This past year was the first Thanksgiving I had off in 3 years. So it was those kinds of things. And like Katie said, I'm expecting my first baby in less than 6 weeks. So I always dreamed of being a stay-at-home mom. And it's kind of funny because when I started a career, I thought I couldn't do that. I wanted something that I wanted to work too. And so now it kind of just, I say fell into place, but it didn't fall into place. It was a lot of work and a lot of belief. And we'll talk a lot about personal development. And here I am able to live out this dream of being a stay-at-home mom, but I also get to contribute to my family income and contribute to society in a way. So it's super exciting because I get to have the best of all worlds. And sometimes I have to pinch myself and just say, is this really real? I am making a great income. I'm doing what I love. And I will be honest with you, I don't have to work 40 hours a week to replace my 40-hour-a-week income that I did with as an occupational therapist. So I built this business working it part-time. And you can do that too. So one of the biggest things that is important in developing your business and growing as a coach and growing as a leader and just becoming stronger in your belief as a coach and your belief in what you believe that you can accomplish is personal development. It is the 3 vital behaviors, one of the 3 vital behaviors that is often, or I should say the most often, not done. It is the easiest to not do, but it's actually the easiest to do. So if you talk to any of the leaders in this organization, they will tell you that personal development has had the biggest impact on their career as a coach. And the reason why I know that is because I've listened to pretty much every national wake-up call as part of my personal development. I've been a part of a ton of team calls. I've listened to a lot of people that have been successful in this organization, and that is what they say over and over is personal development. You can ask Carl, Michael, Jeff Hill, Michael Neiman, you can ask, the corporate people. They all do personal development. And to be honest with you, I love that because they're telling us to do it, which, if you're telling your team to do it, you definitely want to be doing it. But at the same time, I know that the leaders of this company are always growing. They're always looking to learn more. They're always staying ahead of the game. And that is super important. And that's what you want to think about as you are growing your business, as you are leading your team. You want to be ahead of your team. If you're telling your team to do 30 minutes, you want to be doing an hour. And, getting on and talking on these calls, I love doing them. And to be honest with you, I feel like I am strong enough in doing them. And I feel like I have great things to say, not because I think I'm this super intelligent person, but because for 2.5 years, I have invested in feeding my mind with constant positivity, constant growth, and just always learning more. How can I be better? How can I be a better leader? How can I be a better coach? How can I be a better person? What are my weaknesses? How can I strengthen my weaknesses? So I want you to ask yourself, be honest with yourself. And if you haven't been doing it, then start now. It's never too late to start. But do you do personal development every single day? Is it part of your life? It's just as important as eating clean. It's just as important as working out. It is health for your brain. Okay? So, and to be honest with you, I tell my husband to do personal development. He's not an active Beachbody coach right now. I tell my sister to do personal development. I mean, I tell my whole family. It doesn't have to be on leadership, but I mean, how many people suffer from lack of self-confidence, right? If you would just feed your mind with positivity every day. My husband's in sales. You know, he gets beat down on a daily basis. I tell him, I'm like, just put some positive stuff in the car. You know, constantly be feeding your mind with positivity and ways to grow, because what's going to happen is ultimately your perception of the world is going to change, and you're going to see things from, you know, a positive point of view. You're going to see something negative happen and say, okay, this happened. How can I overcome it? It's not going to be, okay, this happened. Woe is me. Yes, that happens. Katie knows that. Even to me with all the personal development. But I'll tell you, when I am feeling like that, woe is me, I'm like looking, what personal development can I do? What do I need to listen to? You know, sometimes it's a sermon. I'm a Christian. I'm a spiritual person. Sometimes it's from that aspect. Sometimes it is a confidence thing. Sometimes it's a time management thing. So you have to be able to kind of look within yourself, look in the mirror and say, what is it that I need? Where do I need help? And maybe you do struggle. Maybe you don't know what to do. And that's what your upline's for. You can ask them, you know, what would help me? I mean, believe me, we've all been doing personal development and we love to share what works for us. And I'm always trying to share when I read a good book or hear a good podcast, you know, with my team. If you go to the Coach Online office, there is a success tab. I don't know if you guys have ever gone there, but there's tons and tons of resources right there. The videos, I was kind of annoyed because I'm a nerd, but the videos are only like 5 minutes. I'm like, come on, give me an hour. I need like an hour, 45 minutes. But the cool thing is you get these video clips of these different people, and now you can kind of listen to them and say like, wow, you know, Darren Hardy, I really like what he has to say. Well, Darren Hardy has a plethora. He wrote The Compound Effect of resources that you can use. And so many resources are free. YouTube, I rarely listen to the radio. Even if I'm driving 10 minutes down the road, it's a perfect time to do your personal development. You can Google, you can search on YouTube, you know, John Maxwell, Tony Robbins, Darren Hardy, Eric Worre, Chalene Johnson, Brendan Burchard. Those are just a few of people that I search. And there's multiples of tons and tons of videos and just clips that they've done and other things people have posted. And a lot of John Maxwell's books, the full audio is in there. And so I also like to listen to personal development when I'm cleaning, when I'm cooking dinner, when I am doing something mindless in the kitchen, you know, loading or unloading the dishwasher, folding laundry. I've even put it on and gone grocery shopping and just put it in my ears just as a way to multitask. When I was working full time and I was working 40 hours as a therapist and I was working, you know, 20 plus hours as a coach, I really had to multitask. So I did a lot of personal development then, but I still do it, you know, when you're doing a mindless task. So I don't want to hear the excuse that you don't have time, because everybody has time. Put it on in the bathroom when you're getting ready in the morning. I do that too. So, you know, think about the times that you like to listen to music and put it on then. I mean, I do a lot of audio because you really can multitask with that. The national wake-up calls, Team Beachbody Coach, is that what it is? I think it's Team Beachbody Coach is the podcast. There are podcasts that has all the national wake-up calls every week that go back to 2012, maybe even 2011. So you have probably over 200 calls that are 30 minutes each that you can listen to. I think I've listened to every one because that's what I would put on in the car. And I really liked listening to personal development from a successful Beachbody standpoint. I wanted to do what the successful people were doing. So that's what you do. You listen and you follow. There's resources on our team pages, and you really just need to ask and just start by looking at yourself. Where are your weaknesses? Where are your struggles? And start there. And then the other thing is, I will tell you, and this is something you can do as you begin to build your team. When I have a coach struggling and they come to me and say, I can't hit Success Club, or I can't, it's just really hard, or I don't know. The first thing I ask them is, are you doing personal development? And 99.9% of the time, they say no. And even Katie has come to me and said, well, what personal development are you doing? And I'm like, I'm not doing anything, or I missed something, or I'm not doing as much as I normally do, or whatever. Always, always, always. So when you find yourself in a rut, when you find yourself struggling, unplug, dive into something. Why are you struggling? Where are you struggling? Dive into something. If it has to do with Beachbody in general, maybe you're questioning, this is so non-traditional. Everybody's hating on what you're doing. Do you really think this is going to go anywhere? I mean, come on, everybody's a Beachbody coach. Dive into personal development with calls with Carl Deichler, with calls with the National Wake Up Calls, all these coaches that are successful. I'll tell you what, every time I listen to Carl Deichler talk, I'm like, wow, this, I'm always fired up, listen to him, listen to other people in this company, listen to Eric Worre is a professional with network marketing, and he will tell you network marketing is the better way, so you have to recognize what you're feeling and then feed that negativity with a positive personal development. Okay. So, I want you to, again, lead by example. Make sure that you are doing what you're teaching your team to do. And it's really amazing how when you start feeding your mind with this personal development, it cracks me up sometimes because it just comes out of my mouth. Like these things that I heard, I'm like, oh, that sounded really good. But it's really just because I heard it from another successful coach, or I heard it from a successful, positive speaker. And I find myself almost not counseling people, but I even find myself when my friends come to me for advice, or when my husband and I are having a discussion about something, like personal development just comes flying out of my mouth. And I don't know, I feel like really smart when I say it, but anyways. So, it's going to change your perspective. It's going to make you more positive. It's going to give you more confidence. It's going to give you that belief that you can do it. That is one of the biggest things about this business. I think that's really hard is that you have to believe it, and you will be successful. I mean, the products are amazing. Everybody gets results if they follow them, right? There's so much science behind them. Shakeology is amazing. There are going to be people that are going to be telling you that what you're doing is stupid, mostly because they don't understand it. They don't want to see you change because that is forcing them to look in the mirror and realize that they need to change. When you're successful, it reminds people of their failures. I've been there. I know what it's like to have people that close to you that are, ridiculing you, mocking you, hating you for what you're doing. And I will tell you, personal development is what pulled me through, because those people had no idea. And I will tell you what, 2.5 years later, my life has drastically changed for the positive, and their lives are exactly the way they were 2.5 years ago. So I think about that, and I think, wow, like what if I would have let that kind of influence stop me from doing what I ultimately really wanted to do, just because someone kind of knocked me a little bit and made me question what I could do and my belief in myself, and I wouldn't be here, right? And a lot of people on my team wouldn't be here, which really makes me sad. So you want to be constantly shielding yourself, protecting yourself, and personal development will do that because it's going to give you the confidence that you need. But you have to remember too that it's not just about listening, reading, and doing the personal development. You need to put it into action, right? So you can read tons and tons of books of time management, right? You can know exactly what to do to manage your schedule, but if you don't put the systems in place, it's never going to have an impact on your business. You can know that goal writing is so important, and creating a vision board is so important, and the most successful people do that, and they're always reevaluating their goals, and they're always looking at their goals on a daily basis. But if you don't do it, it's not going to help you. If you don't Failing Forward, John Maxwell, great book. If you don't continue to fail, if you don't get comfortable with failing, if you don't take any risks, you're never going to learn. You have to take the action to allow yourself to fail in order to learn. So remember that you do have all of these great resources at your fingertips just within our team, and you have a ton of resources of people that we can connect you with outside of the team in terms of who to look to in order to develop yourself. But if you don't take any action with anything that anybody is teaching you, you're going to stay in the same spot too. So remember that. So there is actually a personal development book that I want to go over in a little bit more detail, and you guys I'll recommend that you all read it. But I just was thinking about everything that I read, and I love to get recommendations and see what other coaches have read and what they've liked and what they've succeeded at, what has helped them be successful. So I decided to grab a bunch of my books and show you guys my little Beachbody University that I have. And this isn't even all of them. This is like 2.5 years of reading or listening every day. So I'm just going to go through them really quick so you guys can see if any of you guys need ideas. John Maxwell, 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. Anything by John Maxwell, in my opinion, is amazing. He has tons of stuff on YouTube for free. Girl Boss, if you need confidence, great book. Read that really fast. Another confidence book, it's called I Thought It Was Just Me, but It Isn't. Making the Journey from What People Think to I Am Enough. We live in a society that everybody is judgmental, and especially when we do something that is non-traditional, people are going to judge you. And this is a really good confidence builder book. Start with Why, Simon Sinek. Any of you guys going to Summit? So jealous. You'll get to see him speak, and I think he'll probably talk a lot about this. Go for No. This is a quick one. Don't Want to Hear No's. This is a really good book. I think it was like $5 or something. This is just a little excerpt, but I'm going to read the whole thing. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this guy, Nick I forget how you say his last name. Vujicic. He doesn't have any arms or legs, and he wrote a book. It's called Life Without Limits. This little excerpt is awesome, so I recommend that one. This is the Confident Woman devotional. Katie recommended this to me. This is a daily devotional. To just small little excerpts every day. Go Pro by Eric Worre. If you are in network marketing and want to grow your business, this is the book that you need to read. He has great principles and strategies. You're a Badass. I know we've all probably heard that one. Oh, I have 2 Start With Whys. I guess I'll need to give a giveaway. Personality Plus. This is the color codes. Or no, this is this is just another personality book to understand your team, understand your coaches, understand why you think what you think. it's not about you. This is the author of also The Go-Giver. The Go-Giver is what I'm going to talk about tonight. But this is a quick read. It's really cool because it's a narrative, and it tells a story, but it teaches you stuff along the way. Eat That Frog is a time management. Brian Tracy, he is awesome. Chalene Johnson, The 30-Day Push. This is a really good one when you're really pushing for a goal. The Compound Effect, Darren Hardy. The Slight Edge. These are all, I think, in my Kindle. Failing Forward, John Maxwell. And Entre Leadership, Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey is a pretty awesome guy, too. So anyways, that's my Beachbody University. Hope that didn't bore you guys too much. But I also wanted to just have you guys see kind of what I have filled my brain with over the past 2.5 years, but also get some really good recommendations to you. Okay, so real quick, I'll go over this. I don't want to take too much more of your time. The Go-Giver. This book is awesome. I read it in probably 2 days. It's by crap. My husband took the cover thing off of it. It's by Bob Berg and John David Mann, but they also wrote that other little book. But it's cool because it's a narrative, so it's an easy read. But the principles are in there. So, and I'll post the 5 principles. The 5 laws is actually what they are. And these are the 5 laws for success, basically. So the first law, and I loved this book because I think that it went so parallel with what we teach as Beachbody coaches and the way our organization runs. And it's kind of funny, while I was reading it, I'm reading all these laws thinking, and I could really think of successful coaches in my mind that do these things. And I'm like, well, no wonder they're successful because they're following these laws. So the first law, the law of value. Your true worth is determined by how much more you give in value than you take in payment. It's really interesting, right? So it's teaching you to always give more. So your first question shouldn't be, how much money am I going to make? Your first question is, does it serve others and does it add value to others? This is not a strategy, it's a way of life. All the great fortunes in the world have been created by men and women who had a greater passion for what they were giving, their product, their service or idea, than for what they are getting. So this is giving over getting. It's interesting, if you go to a restaurant and, are you getting the bare minimum service for what you're paying for? Or are you getting a greater value because they want to give you the best quality, the most quantity of food they can to create a greater value? And I had just been to New Jersey when I read this, and we had gone to an Italian restaurant, and they definitely went above and beyond. I mean, the food sizes they gave us, the quality of service they gave us, and I remembered that. So, always be thinking about that. How much value are you giving to your customers and to the people around you? So if you think about our network of coaches, one thing that I love is that we share everything, right? So, there's coaches that they help everyone. It doesn't matter. They don't even get impacted by what some people, the people that are using their things. There's tips that are shared. There is tricks that are shared. There's curriculums that are given to everyone. It's not just in their downline. These coaches are helping everyone. If you think about the National Wake Up Call, they're always sharing their quote unquote secrets, right? And, just think about it. Like, how many of you go above and beyond for your customers and your coaches? Is this the way you live your life? And if it's not, you really want to start reflecting on that and thinking about that. Is how can you add more value, more than you think you should be paid for. The second law is the law of compensation. Your income is determined by how many people you serve and how well you serve them. So the first law focuses on your potential for success, and the second law focuses on how much you actually do earn. So if you really want to be successful, you need to find a way to serve more people. There's no limitations on what you can earn. There's always more people to serve. And this couldn't be more true in what we do, right? There's an obesity epidemic right now. So yeah, we have 300,000 coaches in the network, but there's 7 billion people in the world or something. And 2/3 of them are overweight. So there's always more people that need us. And, this book talks about, do you have the belief that there are people who get rich and there are people who do good? You can't be one or the other. People that are getting rich are just getting rich because they're taking advantage of other people. They're not, they're not good people. The good people just get by. But being broke and being rich are actually both decisions. So what you focus on is what you get. If you want to earn more money, you need to focus on adding more value and serving more people. The third law, the law of influence. Your influence is determined by how abundantly you place other people's interests first. So this is where you forget about your relationships being 50-50. This is where you give 100% to all relationships. It's not about 50-50. If you focus on the other person winning and make your win about the other person, you will always be taken care of. If you put their interests before yours, your interests will always be taken care of. If you're always watching out for what other people need with the faith that when you do, you'll get what you need. And it's true, you will. And if you think about it, think about the people that you're attracted to in life in terms of, you want to be friends with them, or you like to follow them, or you are inspired by them. Chances are those are people that are giving. They're givers. Givers are like magnets. People just come to them because they exude this just this genuineness of giving. And if you think about it, think about people in this business alone. I was thinking about Chalene Johnson, for instance. She gives so much to people, she's always giving free information, free training, free help. She genuinely wants to help others and give as much as she can to others. And look how much she's getting in return. Right. Lindsay Matway, I thought about her because I don't know that she invented this, but she started the Bombshell Dynasty, which we're all under. But I think one thing that she started that I think that has kind of ripple affected through the teams and has worked well for so many people is that she always said, add value. She said find 5 things that you're interested in, research things, talk to people, and always add value when you are creating your posts or when you're doing social media. And when I very first got into this business, she was the person that I saw a lot of curriculums or teachings from. And, that she was the first person that I had ever learned that from. And if you think about that, that's, you're giving away free advice. You're giving away value to people. And when you do that, people are attracted to you. And I think that that's one thing that we do really well as coaches is that we give away this inspiration, right? We're giving, we do quotes and we do workouts and we teach people. I know Katie has gone to the grocery store with people because I want to help them. I don't charge them a service to take them grocery shopping, but, we give of our time to our coaches and we give of our time to our customers, and we coach for free. We make a commission, but they are getting a product. And with that, we are helping, we are serving, and we go above and beyond. So keep that in your mind always. Always be a giver, because the more that you give, the more people are going to be attracted to you. The more value you can add to someone, the more they're going to come to you. So law number 4, the law of authenticity. I love this, and I know Katie loves this law too. The most valuable gift you have to offer yourself is you, right? You are the most important commodity. Yes, you need people skills, but if you want to have people skills, just be a person. You'll never reach people as long as you're trying to be someone else. You need to be yourself, unapologetically you. You are going to attract the right people when you are adding value and when you are being yourself. It can get really difficult in this industry because we're taught that, you know, copy what your upline does, copy what your upline's upline does because they've been successful, they've done it before. And yes, that's true, but you need to customize it, use the ideas and customize it to make it your own. Be yourself. If you're funny, if you're goofy, if you can't dance, whatever, put yourself out there. Just don't worry about what people think. You know, don't always make Facebook your highlight reel, right? Be a real person. You know, we always say, turn your mess into a message. And, you know, you can be vulnerable and still get your message across that, you know, this is what I'm going through, but this is what I'm doing to help myself, right? And just remember that always be you. You know, if you're going to post something, and I think about this sometimes, and if you think like, oh, what's so-and-so going to think? Just stop and say, who cares? Like, is this me? And it is you because it's your initial response or your initial idea. So don't try to be someone else, but don't try to be someone that you think people want you to be, if that makes any sense. And I know that is sometimes a struggle for many people. We are coaches. We are not perfect. I am not 100% on my diet all the time. I know no one is, right? But when I'm unapologetically me, when I tell people like, oh my gosh, this is where I've struggled, but here's where I'm changing. That's when people relate to me. That's when people reach out to me. And you will attract a lot more people on this journey with you when you invite them to be on the journey with you instead of trying to put this level of perfection out there. And the 5th law is the law of receptivity. The key to effective giving is to stay open to receiving. And that one kind of took me for a little bit to think about. You know, are you an open person? Are you open to the advice that people have to give? Are you a student? You know, are you easily teachable? Are you willing to learn? Are you willing to be supported? You know, some people don't even, you know, even if you have an upline and they're trying to help you, some people don't want the help. They just want to do it on their own, figure it out. You know, the saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't force them to take the water. You know, a lot of times you'll see that with coaching. You'll see that with customers. You know, you can teach people how to eat clean. You can tell them to do the workouts, but they won't do it. You can teach coaches that it's important to do personal development. It's important to invite, but people don't do it, right? So you have to stay open to receiving constructive criticism. You have to stay open to receiving personal development in and of itself, because aspects of being receptive are your big dreams, are your big, you know, is part of being curious, is part of believing in yourself, is receiving that, okay, I am worth it. I can do this. I am worth it. And I am willing to be a student. I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to put myself out there in order to fail forward. And, you know, the other thing about this book and the principles in here is, if you think about this can actually be applied to your life. It's not just beach body coaching. And those are some of the best books you can read, is when you can apply them. If you think about it, you know, the one thing he says in there, and I've okay, I'm a nerd, so I've read books on marriage because I just got married. But, you know, he said this about marriage, but, you know, I've read this a million times. It's like a successful marriage is caring more about your spouse's happiness than your own, and your spouse feeling the same way. And that's kind of the same way. That's the way you want to be with everybody in your life, is you're caring more about other people's interests. You're looking at other people's interests first. You are caring more about if they are going to win than you are. And that's not always easy. I'm a competitive person. You know, I get offended. I have, you know, people that may have hurt me, and, you know, you're trying to one up or keep score or do the 50-50, or this isn't fair. Why are they treating me like this? I'm not treating them like that. But if you always keep the perspective in mind of that, just, you know, keeping their interests at heart, you will always win. So, the last thing he says in there too is, sometimes you feel foolish, sometimes you look foolish, but you do it anyways. And you might look foolish, and you might feel foolish when you're trying to be the giver, when you're trying to be authentic and be unapologetically you, and when you're trying to put other people's interests first. You know, some people may look at you and say, what's wrong with you? But it's the way to go. So I will leave you with this. Those of you that are going to Summit, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful time. It will be an experience of a lifetime. It will change you forever. It will change your business. The best advice I can give you is to soak it all in. Don't get too overwhelmed, and just take 1, 2, 3 things max that you learned from there and apply it to your business. Don't try to take everything that you learn and hear and put it into place when you get back, because your head will be spinning in a good way. But know that you'll have all of those resources, and truly enjoy yourselves. Get sleep. I had trouble with that. Burning the candle at both ends, waking up at 6 to work out and staying out late with your friends. But really just enjoy yourselves. Be safe. Stay cool out there. And I will answer any questions anybody has.
You're awesome. It was such a good, that book is just amazing. But what I really liked in listening to you talk about it is the way you described it. And when I read it, the way that I looked at it, because there's always something more you can take from it. There's always something more you can get from the way that somebody else explains it. So I love that. And number 5 too is perfect for Summit, you know, being receptive to what other coaches are telling you and taking those little nuggets and just applying them to your business without, you know, trying to think you have to change everything you're doing. So yes, it was really good. Such a great book, guys. And I have a copy here. It is, and it was such on a whim book. It's very short. You can read it very quickly. But it's one of those books you think about for hours after you read it, and even more so as the days go by, and you just think, am I being a go-giver? Like, am I really truly being a go-giver, or am I just trying to make a sale? Am I just trying to make money? So I think that was a really good point too. So, all right. So questions for Kirsten. It is almost 10 o'clock, but we have about 5 minutes left. If anybody has any questions for her or comments, feedback.
Do your personal development.
Yeah.
And a call is a personal development.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I consider that personal development when I was starting my business. I listened every week, so.
And I think the other thing is too, Beachbody suggests that they always suggest 10 minutes a day. I'll be honest with you, there are days when 10 minutes for me doesn't cut it. Like, I know where my mind is and I know where I'm going. And so there might be days, like last week, I think I spent an hour on personal development. And then there's been other days where I have to spend more because I know that it is the difference between a good post and a bad post. It is the difference between feeling like I'm salesy versus feeling like I'm being authentic. And the only way that I know how to do that is when I dive into personal development. So, and it isn't necessarily in just 10 minutes a day.
And I think that 10 minutes is kind of their way of saying, like, if you can't get anything in, at least do 10 minutes, 10 pages, something, just something every day to feed your mind. And it will, over time, just, you will be full of information. I mean, yeah, Taylor, in the car is seriously the best. I mean, how many of you, work full time, not just doing Beachbody? Everybody has a commute. I mean, other than Danielle, who's like 0.4 miles from her job that I know of, but some other people are only 5 minutes, but she could ride her bike and it would take 10 minutes and she could listen to, personal development, which she probably does. She's a good one. She listens to me. But you can, there's always time. Like when you're in the bathroom, getting ready.
Yeah. Yep. Lewis Howes School of Greatness is a podcast that I listen to that I do love. The Team Beachbody, I have that one on my podcast. And then I think those are my only two. I tend to highlight books more, but I did blog about my top books as well. So I'll include this in the YouTube link whenever I share it. I'll include that post as well. And, I think that's all I got. So do you guys have any questions for Kirsten or any of the books that you wanted her to go back to specifically?
And when you guys read a good book, share it. Mm-hmm. Always. I always want recommendations.
Yep. So share it and then just think like if it inspired you, like how can this possibly inspire, another person or help another person too. So
right.
Very cool. Well, Kirsten, thank you. I am, very sad that you are not going to be there, but thank you so much. And I will check that one out. Thank you, Haley, too. Have a great night. I will be a little more distant this week, but I will be around and cannot wait to see some of you. And if you are not going to Summit, you will be there next year. So have a great night.